Shall we start?
Yeah, hi, you can start.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar series of All India Forum for Right to Education. And this is the 11th in the episode of the webinar series organized by All India Forum for Right to Education. We have been organizing these discussions or these lectures since August 11 to 2020 on the new education policy 2020, and we are trying to critically appraise this document from different perspectives and taking different issues. And we have had many eminent speakers speak in this series, and today we are very fortunate to have Professor Sudarshan Iyengar, and he is one of the foremost scholars of Gandhi in India. He is the former Vice Chancellor of Gujarat Vidyapith and Ahmedabad, which was founded by Mahatma Gandhi. He is also the former director of Center for Social Studies and Gujarat Institute of Development Research, Ahmedabad. He was the chair professor Gandhian philosophy in IIT Mumbai. His major focus of research are Gandhian thoughts and practice, natural resource development and management, people and civil society institutions, and he is also a member of several management boards and various voluntary organizations, and he had been actively engaged in rehabilitation of tribal people displaced in the Narmada dam project in 1990s, and also active in relief and rehabilitation of earthquake affected people in such area of Gujarat. He has 8 books to his credit and 65 research articles to his academic articles to his credit. And above all, and most importantly, Professor Sudarshan Iyengar is an esteemed member of the Board of Advisors of All India Forum for Right to Education, and he has always been with us and supporting and encouraging All India Forum for Right to Education activities. So thank you so much, Professor Iyengar, for being with us. And I welcome you to our this webinar, and we look eagerly forward to your lecture. Thank you so much. You can begin.
Thank you very much, Indrani. That was rather very generous of speaking so much because in that sense, everybody of us is a learner. I have very little background in real education aspects in the sense that education as a discipline, except that people who don't have disciplines, they become vice chancellors and head the nation and everything happens. So you will pardon me for that. But yes, understanding develops as you read Gandhi, because the last gift that he said, he's the last but not the least or most important gift that he was giving to the nation was his idea of Nai Talim. And we have given it a go by all these years in school education, in higher education. In higher education, of course, Gandhi also tried less. So, you know, what I am going to do is that obviously so many speakers have taken up many aspects. So I don't wish to get into all the 8 major sub-themes of the school education which have been given. And because it will really take long and everybody has read it and spoken about it and everybody has something to say about it. So I will say a few general things about the document in the beginning, 2-3 minutes. And then straight away I will come to section 4, which is on the content and pedagogy. And within that also, I'm going to concentrate on the idea of vocations as it is introduced. And of course, I will have some comments on the earlier sections also in the early childhood learning and all that. But that I think most of many of you who would have also given their thoughts and this must have got already said. So if there is repetition, you will just take this as also an additional opinion. With that, I must begin by saying that in Gujarati, there is a saying, I don't know whether it is there in Hindi, but it's very easy to understand. It is said that Nishan chuk maaf, nahi maaf, nichu nishan. So, aiming, failing at what you have aimed is pardonable, but aiming low is not pardonable. This applies to this document, which is called the National Education Policy 2020. It has aimed very high. You can think the best adjectives, and they all are there. And sometimes reading that really gives you a pleasure of saying that how much really we know about education, about our tradition, about our methodologies, our pedagogy. Everything is so sort of well said in some sense. But the nuances which come out are most important. So broadly speaking, there are two aspects which I would like to raise in the beginning about the whole document, which is actually a policy document and therefore it is important. So, I mean, when you look at a policy, which is a national policy, which apparently has been saying that this is the first most comprehensive policy in the 21st century India on education, which is a welcome step, of course. I mean, we just don't say that it's not a welcome step because after 1986, we are having. So when you want to introduce this policy, you will have to see these, what are the strengths of the policy or the main points and the weaknesses that can be criticized, or we can be critical about it, appreciative about it at the outset. Appreciative I have said that there is nothing which has been left out. All adjectives and all possible imaginative things, including the latest being the artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, everything is there. So there is nothing missing on that. And in the context of, in the background of Indian astrology, I mean Indian astronomy, I'm sorry, correction, astrology fortunately has not been there. So from philosophy to astronomy and you name it, science, maths, and everything is there. But what are the major weaknesses and how do you really put this into sort of, for putting this into action, you would require an action plan, which is discussed sort of sketchily according to me, and maybe in a policy document you would not expect, because the whole action plan in that sense, implementation plan will have to be very detailed, and we hope that it comes out. And then the plan, and then what is the kind of timeline and what system you have to implement this, to monitor this, and for its accountability to the people finally. This is how you will, evaluate any policy, national level policy. So the weaknesses that we see is that the first weakness, I have two major weaknesses to point out because they also relate to the school education to begin with. One is that the problem of medium. Now, having said that it is giving emphasis on, and very good, it says घर की भाषा, मातृभाषा, स्थानीय भाषा, क्षेत्रीय भाषा. So it says it is home language, it is mother tongue, it is the local tongue, and then it is the regional tongue. And then of course, national and international. But for primary school, at least till grade 5, according to me, this option of grade 5 to 8 should not have been kept. It is now recognized, and well, all of us know that UNICEF also had said this. Children learn best in their languages. So primary education could have been put straight away without giving options into this. This is one thing which has not been done. They have said that this will be till 5, it is going to be there. So let us hope that till 5 it comes in. But in this context, what is not clear is that whether the English medium schools, which are completely English medium schools, they will be closed or they will be converted into these kind of regional languages or local languages or not. That is the question. In my tribal area, I live in Dharampur, which is part of South Gujarat. Dharampur was the most backward taluka according to 1984 IG Patel Committee's report. And I can take you to the interior places where you will see that there is no chappal in the legs, but there's a that tied tie, the ready-made tie, which is loosely hanging, and you will say, "Good morning, teacher." Goes on. What will you do to them? And they are running in some tin sheds, they are charging fees. What will you do for them? There is nothing, absolutely nothing. I went through carefully. There is no sentence. That connects me, and government also has English medium schools. It's not that only this has. Municipalities have, governments have English medium schools. And actually, gradually, English, they are getting converted into English medium schools. So this is not given. The second point, which is related and comes from that, where I say good morning teacher, that is fee charging school. So in Hindi, there is again a saying I should say that पहनने को नहीं लगता पान खाएं अलबत्ता. This is a straight UP saying I am giving. पहनने को नहीं लगता पान खाएं अलबत्ता. You don't have anything to wear, but you are eating pan. So my people here are doing that. Literally in some sense. So what are you going to do about it? Absolutely no. And this is a major weakness. Because if you don't take a decision on that, then actually you are not able to implement your basic issue, which you have discussed in section 4, which relates to your bhasha. It will not happen. One. Second point is that if you have this private sector, which is given recognition. So you will have all the three models. You will have Sarvajanik, public, you will have PPT, partnership, and you will have private. And then it says the Paropkari Sansthan, of who decides who is Paropkari and who is profit making. Non-profit making, profit making, you are not going. And I think the market, my market economics friends and those who believe in market economy as a system, whether they are economists or not, they are very firm on saying, what is your problem if there is a for-profit, good quality education being given? And we understand what is the problem. And I must remind the sixth section, which talks about Samaveshi, inclusive, the whole talk about, equitable and inclusive. How can you do this? How can this ever, whatever you have written, you may have written some 15 good paragraphs. Ram Manohar Lohia should be reminded, we should get reminded of him. He had said in the parliament that he believes in Rani ho ya Mehrani, sabke liye ek saman shiksha. Whether it is a queen or a sweeper, everybody should get one type of education. I am talking about school education. So the question of equity and inclusiveness comes only when we actually adopt the policy of neighborhood school. Now this comes to the tantra or the system of schooling in this country, whether in rural or in urban areas. Why can't we take a policy decision that every child will have access to 2-kilometer distance school and every child has to go there? A corporate sector person, collector, whatever. So that is Rani ho ya Mehrani. And that school has to be equipped. The school has to be opened, equipped, and in mother. New education policy is totally silent. On the contrary, by promoting the whole idea of private sector participating in education, See, because the public sector is performing poorly and the credibility is so low that my poor tribal people, not, I should not call them any longer poor in that sense. They are not in any distress or deprived. They are, the power, at least in Gujarat, I know that roti ki poverty nahi hai. The hunger poverty is not. But they have to, जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं, पेट काट के पढ़ाना पड़ेगा. मतलब you have to forego something else in order to pay your fees. So, this, they do it because they are not very confident of what is happening in the public schools, in their government schools. So now it is this question, and then you have actually a very elaborate plan and design for starting your education as a national concern from the age of 0. They say it is from 3, but they are also saying that from 0 to 5 we should take care of this. So, and the only agency which is fit to do this is NCERT. So NCERT will do what? Run missions, run campaigns. Where is decentralization? The basic philosophy and contents could be understood. Pedagogy could be sort of shared, but the whole system has to be in that decentralized sense. So it is still highly centralized because it is the national bureaucracy which is going to run all this. And bureaucracy is not, and on this bureaucracy, let me tell you that they have not mentioned anything about the directorates and the secretariat. Is there any mention? No. You know the education system. There is director of education. Nothing is said about it. Who will be the director of education? IAS, the state administrative service fellow, or there will be a good teacher who will be sitting as the director of education, director of school education. This is the question which has not been addressed. So you have produced, and why this beautiful document is produced? Because you have the best brains, you have all the scientists, you have all the professors. And let me tell you, I mean, I'm not that I am a vice chancellor and I was a fit vice chancellor to be. I don't claim any such thing. इस पूरे देश में आपको एक वाइस चांसलर नहीं मिला इसकी आपकी नीति बनाने को हेड करने के लिए. उसके लिए आपको सारे साइंटिस्ट मिले. मुझे कोई साइंटिस्ट से मतलब आई एम नॉट अगेंस्ट देम, but you see, after all, when it is education, who should be heading and giving direction to these kind of commissions, committees, and that I think we are miserably. So it's a pompous document. Now let me come to my specific area which I wanted to speak. It was very nice of Anil Sadgopal to send me this New Indian Express article by Nishank. It begins by a quote by Gandhiji, and I think I will read this because it's important that actually what it says is that concluding on the Nai Talim, that is the I will read that section first, which is important, and let me go back to that. Just you will bear with me for a while, and I will come to that. Yes, it says the first, explaining the Vardha scheme of education, Gandhiji said, taken as a whole, a vocation is the best medium for all-round development of a boy or a girl, and therefore the syllabus should be woven around vocational training. Explaining the Vardha scheme of education, the writer, obviously Nishank Saab ne to nahi padha hoga. Somebody has written for him, but the writer has not cared to check when did Gandhi write this. This was written on a different date prior to. This actually comes from Harijan, which is on 18th September, And there is a slight twist in quotation. It's under the quotation mark, so I'm very careful. And such kind of twists can play big games. Taken as a vocation, Gandhi doesn't write a vocation. Gandhi writes, taken as a whole, vocations are, not a vocation is. So he is not talking about a single vocation, but he is talking about vocations. And then when the and therefore the syllabus should be woven around. He is saying all syllabus should be woven around. Now one can say that this is a pardonable mistake, but when you are putting quotes, at least the education, the first research principle is that you have to verify, give the source. Newspaper में आप अगर लिख रहे हैं तो ज़्यादा जवाबदारी से लिखिए, because exact, when you are quoting a person, exact words. Now by saying a vocation, what you are saying is किसी एक vocation को सिखा दें. Now this is the point of beginning where this whole understanding of vocation is not really appreciated as a pedagogy. Now, you know, if you really go into it, what did he really do? And he says, and obviously, and Gandhi, before he gave the speech in Wardha, and the Wardha plan is not total what Gandhi had said. Gandhi was, in that sense, a democratic person, but basic was accepted. But what was accepted? The education would be through व्यवसाय के आधार पर ज्ञान और कौशल्य सिखाया जाएगा. So it will be through vocation that knowledge, which means knowledge of subjects and skill, will be taught. So it is not, let us understand that Gandhi's Talim, Nayi Talim has both philosophy and pedagogy. We have to read both and both differently. And because in Nayi Talim, you have the sense of equality. You have the sense of regionalness. You have the sense of supporting the local economy. You have the sense of creating a new generation which, if remains within its own vocations, will be able to do the best. So they will have access to new frontiers of knowledge in what they are pursuing as their vocation in life. That is the foundation that has to come, and that knowledge has to come, and that knowledge has to come through vocation. That is the pedagogy. There is correlation, there is anubandh. Now, unfortunately, this point, it's not unfortunate, it is missed actually, and it is missed purposely. Because the second point in this is that you have made it optional. So you are saying that there will be art and crafts, there will be, physical education, there will be also vocation. And there will, the whole idea of using flexibility is used in this. So can we all understand that? And then you say that this is the vision of, and there is another sentence which he writes, that this education policy brings alive the vision of Mahatma Gandhi and Mr. Modi. Now, I don't have any problem of, comparison of, if there is a similarity, and if you say that both have the same vision. Unfortunately, our Prime Minister does not have this vision which Mahatma Gandhi had. He has a vision. So I am not questioning that he doesn't have a vision. He has a vision. So we want to become Vishwa Guru. So that comes out. I mean, we want to become Vishwa Guru. That is a vision. And for becoming Vishwa Guru, we will have everything. So this is, it's a hold all. It's a hold all. It's a hold all approach. So you have held everything. But then let us not, invoke Gandhiji for this. Because Gandhiji is absolutely clear. And he has learned from experience. And then this is now backed by, and in his own time, he has written that development of mind, brain is better when you work with hands. So this is a scientific thing which he had realized. And he had experimented in Tolstoy farm. His age group was 6 to 16. And he had, I mean, he gave 8 because he was the teacher. So let us understand this, that Gandhi has been a school teacher in Tolstoy farm, smaller one. So you have 8 hours of work. Now, 8 hours of work, which includes what activities and how you really evolve to get to skills by doing. And then related to that, you also discuss with them the subjects. There is a book knowledge which has to be given. So he says that from 6 to 16 age group, we pursued vocations like digging, cooking, scavenging, sandal making, simple carpentry, messenger work, and this is not exhaustive. This can always be now enriched. He has talked about Tolstoy farm, but when he is discussing his preparatory article for the Wardha conference in 1937, October 22nd, he is saying this in September and the beginning of October, that I am not talking out of hat. I am talking out of this experience. Now this can be enriched. So this is contextual. Gandhi doesn't freeze. So let us also not freeze. But the point is that he says that this was 8 hours, 2 hours was book learning. So 8 hours means it's a part of what in Hindi we call dincharya. And therefore in the Nai Talim schools, there is dincharya. And in Nai Talim schools, in basically also in upper primary and secondary and higher secondary, there was Chhatravas, Samuh Jivan, staying together, community life, which had become important. Village, even in village setting today, this community life for children is possible. And Gandhi is a different model for even teachers. He is not saying that now one of the policy implementation, when it will come to that, it says that subject-wise specific assessment will be made for specific gaps in the subject-related availability of teachers, and then the recruitment will be done. Gandhi says that one thing both are agreeing on is, Gandhi says it is 25 to 1, the PTR, and this says that 30 to 1, and if the disadvantaged areas are there, it is 25 to 1. It's ideal, and Gandhi has practiced with that, so there is no quarrel there. At least they are somewhere, they are near to Gandhi. But he says that I will have one teacher for one form, one grade. That teacher has to take total care of 25. So there is a question of, in the school education, there is a whole question of mentoring of each particular age by one person. So a person who knows, who has, so this is not compartmentalization of subjects, that ज्योग्राफी का पीरियड कोई लेगा, हिस्ट्री का पीरियड कोई लेगा, साइंस का कोई लेगा, ऐसे नहीं हो रहा है स्कूल एजुकेशन में। प्राइम 1 से 8 की मैं पहले बात कर लेता हूँ, या 1 से आप 16 साल की भी बात करेंगे. You talk about 16, which is up to your last, you leave the last 3, which is a good design in a way. And so I should also point out the positive aspect of this policy. This 10+2 had created the greatest divide in this country. And everybody was, forced to go to the science stream if the person got a better percentage. But in my time, fortunately, I had an option that I would go for arts. I could have gone for science, but I preferred that I would go for arts. So this choice has come back. Hopefully, this is a good development. So I also appreciate that at least if this is implemented, children can at least pursue in whatever limited way, they can pursue what they want to do in the career. So now, so fundamentally, the point I'm making is that this is in no way vision of Gandhi is coming. There is a scope. I have argued that there is a scope that if you take this, even if you take this as your vision, policy apart, in policy you may have talked about flexibility and all that. But when you are trying to bring this to the implementation, you have the scope, you train the teachers accordingly, and see that you are able to establish this correlation by keeping vocation at the center as the medium for learning. So there are two important things in Gandhi's scheme. One is learning in own language. Now I know that there is a problem, because here in this very limited block or taluka, I have at least 4 different dialects among the tribes. But fortunately, there is very little difference in them. And I also accept what has been recognized in the policy, that between the age of 2 and 8, children have the capacity to sort of understand and learn more than one language. So we should begin by their home language and then come to, slowly to other languages. So on that, we have to be clear. But the primary school has to be in the local language. You call it mother tongue, you call it local language. That is the story. That is accepted. That is, fortunately, till class 5 it is accepted. But we have to see that education from 6 onwards, 6 to 14 in different, 6 to 11 in different kind of, introducing how do you work with hand. And from 11 to 18, you have a different way of learning from hand, which also takes to a higher level of knowledge and makes you capable to join the higher education as well, to learn more. And in that, there are choices. A person, once is also skilled, is free to choose, should be free to choose and enter into anything he likes. Suppose he wants to become a philosopher, or she wants to become, a poet, it's all fine. But the point that you have to educate heart, hand, and head in that order. It is this order which is also important for Gandhi. So the heart actually is done by working together. So all that, at least there are 25 adjectives which have been given under one section, in which we talk about the sort of ethical and moral behavior which is included. So I said that the document is very beautiful. Actually, it's so wonderful document. It talks about everything. But how do you do it? You will do it by this. There is one more major lacuna. It has occurred to me right now, and I'm saying, it talks about tribals, which is 8% of the population, welcome. It does not talk about the scheduled castes. It's totally silent. They have been clubbed under socio-economically disadvantaged groups. Don't we understand the sociology of this country? That both in rural and urban areas, anyway, rural areas more sharply, Dalits are at a real disadvantage. And what you think about tribals, you should think more, because they are 15%. If you look at the population. And you have actually not recognized it. You are saying it is Samaveshi, inclusive, equity, Samta, everything is fine. But you are not recognized. And another, at very critical place, what they have used is equity and not equality. Equity we use in economics, because in equality means, all are equal, some are more equal than others happens. So we understand in economics that there is a distribution, income distribution, which is sort of, there will be some differences in income earnings. But when it comes to social reckoning, and when it comes to education, equality has to be there. This is and we refer to our constitution here. We have all the 4 values coming in. It says liberty, equality, justice, and fraternity. but the policy is not clear about this. So why? Because what will happen is that this vocation, when you give an option, and if it is flexible, then on that vocation you will be pushing certain class of people. So be sure that in urban areas it's an option. So fashion के लिए सीखने जाएगा, कुछ भी सीख लेगा. I mean, like you had that SUPW, you remember? I mean, all of us remember, socially useful, productive, something. So program. So go with that, they will learn. But what is the exact integration of vocation with education? Nil. So the people who are so-called bright and well with their economic positions, they will just take it as a fancy, like fashion ke liye kuch seekh ke aaye. So all others, those who are not, they will be pushed. It talks about collaboration with IITs, polytechnics. The schools will be having collaborations. I thought that you have to close those ITIs and polytechnics. We don't need them. They should become, they all that was being done over there has to be done in the schools, and through those vocations you have to take up the education. That is the crux, and this crux is missing. So I think that with these few comments, and of course I can go on saying on each, and the whole idea of this what they call the early childhood environment, I don't know, I mean, how ambitious one can. Let me also comment on in the passing. I should close because I have completed my 30 minutes. We are saying that we will have to be SDGs. SDG 4 we have to achieve, because if you don't achieve SDG 4, the other SDGs will not be achievable. And all the time inside the document, this will be done by 2025, this will be done by 2030. You are supposed to have achieved by 2030 everything in order to have achieved the SDG 4. But you are only saying that by that time we will have set up something. So first thing is that didn't you adopt the SDG in 2015? So you have already lost 5 precious years, and now you are declaring this policy, and this policy to put up the whole system. And then majorly, this whole idea of Anganwadis turning into this eminent places for early childhood learning, the environment, the infrastructure, and the facilitators' capabilities. We are talking about 15 lakh Anganwadis. Who is going to pay for them? Where is the money going to come from? The finance is most important point. Only one sentence. 6% of GDP will be spent. Good. Very laudable. But there is no, I mean, therefore I said that I grant that this is a policy document and you don't have the great plans, but there are certain things that they have said. NCERT will be preparing this frame. They have been given responsibility of framework. There is a national campaign which is going to go on. 3 Rs have come surreptitiously become the prominent thing in up to class 3, because you are worried because people are not able to read, write, and compute simple things. So it is going to be given priority, and that is now known as, it has the wordings have changed. It's no longer called, it's known as foundational learning and numerative capacities. How you will do it, NCERT will have to produce something. So everything is on NCERT, and NCERT, at least I don't know how many wings it is supposed to have, how many hundreds and thousands of people they will have to employ. Do we have those people? All these are questions. And the major problem, if you don't want to take the name of Mahatma Gandhi, I am very comfortable. But if you are going to take the name, I must tell you that you have really made a really half-cock attempt. You have not really gone into the depth of understanding the pedagogy and content. So I think that is a major lacuna, but I still hope, I mean, I don't want to end on a sort of a negative note. I'm only saying that this is perhaps for the first time that these things are being recognized and put. In 2005, there was actually work and education. There was a subgroup when Yashpal was heading the committee and Anil Sadgopal chaired that work and education. It has discussed threadbare. The knowledge exists. It's not mentioned. It was not mentioned even in the main report as the main thing. So marginalization is happening not from today. This idea's marginalization has been happening. Not that our educationists have not understood and pushed this, but this has not taken place. One final thing, when you are talking about Kshetriya Bhasha, Ghar ki Bhasha, Rajya Bhasha, or Sthaniya Bhasha, your document is in, and that too it is produced in English. It is my misfortune that it's our misfortune. Why mine alone? That we have to communicate in English. Misfortune, मैं आपको सीधा बता रहा हूं. And मैं बताता हूं इसमें क्या. Let me end with a small little joke. When I went to work in the district in 1978 to 82, very early on we had this adult education program, removal of illiteracy. वो each one teach one सब बाद में आया था. उससे पहले हमारा प्रौढ़ शिक्षा चल रही. So one enthusiastic minister decided, like our Nishank Saab maybe, that in next 1 year, tough target, everybody in every village of India must know to read and write. So the minister passed an order from center, it came to the states, the state ministers and the bureaucracy passed order, it came to the collector passed it on to all the Gram Panchayats, Sarpanches, and said that you are given 1 year's time. And everybody said, yes, sir. And after 1 year, there was, and they were supposed to send a resolution to the effect that this has been, done. Everybody was feedback. उस समय तो ये वीडियो निकाल के तो अपलोड नहीं करने की बात थी. वो तो अभी नई टेक्नोलॉजी आ गई है ना, तो अब वो अपलोड करना पड़ता है. अभी उस समय तो बेचारा प्रस्ताव हाथ से लिख के भेजते थे. So it was resolved, and the resolution was this: the Sarpanch stood up, he addressed the village people. Gram Sabha तब नहीं थी, पर पंचायत में सभ्य तो सभी थे. कि as our dear minister of the nation, very popular minister of the nation, has decided that this entire nation, every citizen must learn how to read and write. For 1 full year, we have really worked very hard to see that every one of us in our village, every adult of our village, every 5-year plus of our village has learned to read and write. And on all this resolution, we put our thumbprint. So that is the resolution which went back. So I am expecting something of this kind, that for this foundational learning, our Gram Sabhas are going to hold a meeting and it will be videographed, and a small video will be posted in which they will say, it will not be written, they will not post written document. They will only make this, they will speak and say that our dear minister, our dear leader, we have tried very hard in 2000, this will be written in 2030. And this will be sort of directly linked, now then Wi-Fi will hopefully be there and they will directly be attached, and our leader will be listening to each Gram Panchayat. And they will say, sir, we are now fine. We are, we know what is AI, we know what machine learning is, we are very fine and we are communicating and posting this. I mean, I don't want to caricature. I'm only saying that what you have taken up is, what you're aiming at is very high. Our capacities and capabilities are low. This document in some sense is revolutionary, but it lacks the values of a revolution, which talks about our constitutional values, that this is not, although this is this is a paradigm shift. This paradigm shift is not going to achieve our 4 values of liberty, equality, justice, And fraternity, there will be problems because the problem is in design, but we have said so many things, and these so many things put together will produce very little because our wherewithals, our capacities are going to take time. So if all this has to be done, the policy document needs some basic revisions, and then the whole Ayojan or the whole plan, the work plan, the timetables, the resources, the system for putting things in place, all that will have to be thought through. This exercise, how far it will sort of unfold, we have to see and watch, but still let us wish the best for whatever has been committed is put to place. That's all. I want to end on that positive note, and I just don't want to caricature or be very negative of this, but this is what is the position. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Anger. And you have really done the great, it's really great that you have related Gandhi to NEP 2020. I think this was what was lacking in our webinars till now. And we have had a good discussion and good understanding about the whole issue, how Gandhi, maybe is appropriated by this NEP in 2020. And we have also ended in a positive note. That is also good for us because we are very negative till now. And to end in a positive note, really, it is really good. And we would also expect you in future to tell us something about how to go about organizing, future activities to make our vision of common school system or equitable education to all. And I'm sure you will also help us in doing that. Now, there are questions from the audience, and I can just read out from the chat box the questions that have come. But Dr. Vikas, are you there? Can you hear me? Dr. Vikas, can you hear me? You are muted. You are muted.
Ramurthy will translate it in Hindi and
okay. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. Ramurthy ji, can you translate it in Hindi and for our viewers?
Oh. इसमें ये अंग्रेजी कौन नहीं समझा भाई? गड़बड़ हो गई?
नहीं,
we have live screening in our what is that? Facebook.
हाँ, नहीं तो मैं 5-10 मिनट में बता देता हूँ हिंदी में मैंने क्या बोला।
हाँ, आप बता दो।
बढ़िया रहेगा। तो हिंदी में बोला था, फिर बोला कि अंग्रेजी लोग नहीं समझ पाएंगे, इसलिए मैंने नहीं बोला। तो ये तो मैं ये कह रहा था कि ये जो पूरी नीति है, इससे अच्छी नीति कोई हो नहीं सकती थी, मतलब लिखने में उसमें सारे विशेषण भरे पड़े हैं। इस देश की पुरानी संस्कृति और इस दुनिया की जो नई विज्ञान है वो सब जो है हम ले आएंगे, ऐसा हमने वादा किया है। हम लोग आलोचनात्मक सोच ले आएंगे, बच्चों के अंदर उनके अंदर एक पूरी सर्जनात्मकता इकट्ठी कर देंगे और उनको खिलाने के लिए अच्छा वातावरण बनाएंगे। और बच्चों को जो है पहले 0 साल से ही पैदा होते ही जो है उसको शिक्षा के वातावरण में डाल देंगे और 3 साल के बाद 6 साल तक तो हम उनको अच्छे से मतलब खिलाएंगे, गवाएंगे, सब प्रवृत्तियां करवाएंगे और अच्छा खाना भी देंगे। अभी तो हमारा अपना बाल मृत्यु दर के बारे में कुछ ठीक नहीं हुआ है और ये सारी बात जो है वो एक भाई साहब ने भी मुझे पूछा कि आपने जनजाति का कहाँ जिक्र है? जनजाति का जिक्र है क्योंकि मिनिस्ट्री है उसकी, जनजातीय मिनिस्ट्री, महिला बाल कल्याण, MHRD, मानव संसाधन मंत्रालय, और ये 4 मंत्रालय मिलकर के काम करने वाले हैं। उसमें SC के लिए कोई मंत्रालय है नहीं, पर उसको क्या करेंगे वो मुझे पता नहीं है। पर मैं ये समझा रहा था कि इसका जितना बड़ा मतलब इसने इतना बड़ा चित्र बनाया है, इतना खूबसूरत चित्र बनाया है, उस चित्र को अमल में लाने के लिए कोई कार्य आयोजन जो है वो इतना बड़ा करना पड़ेगा कि हम ये कर पाएंगे या नहीं, ये बड़ी मुश्किल है। और दूसरा मेरा सबसे महत्व का मुद्दा ये था कि निशंक साहब ने जो है वो कहा कि इसमें महात्मा गांधी और मोदी साहब दोनों की जो दृष्टि है, दर्शन है, वो प्रकट हो रहा है। तो इसमें मोदी साहब का तो दर्शन प्रकट हो रहा है, उसके लिए मुझे कोई शंका नहीं है, पर वो महात्मा गांधी का है और दोनों एक ही स्तर पर हैं, ये बड़ी गड़बड़। क्योंकि महात्मा गांधी की जो समझ है वो इन लिखने वालों की समझ नहीं है, जो स्कूली शिक्षा के बारे में बात करते हैं। स्कूली शिक्षा में महात्मा गांधी ये कह रहे थे कि काम करते हुए ज्ञान लेना है, काम करते हुए ज्ञान सीखना है। काम जो है वो विषय नहीं है। जैसे आपने चित्रकारिता कर ली, जैसे आपने जो है वो जाकर के एक पीरियड आपका हो गया जिसके अंदर आपने जो है जाकर के कुम्हारी सीख ली, या आपने जो है वो सुथारी सीख ली, ये नहीं है। गांधी ऐसा नहीं कह रहे हैं। गांधी ने हवाला दिया टॉल्स्टॉय फार्म में, कहा बच्चों का मैं शिक्षक था, मैंने कम से कम 8 चीजें पढ़ाई, 8 घंटे जो है बच्चे मेरे साथ मेहनत करते थे, और उसमें खाना भी बनाया जाता था, उसमें सफाई का काम किया जाता था, उसमें खुदाई का काम किया जाता था, उसमें चप्पलें बनाई जाती थी, और उसमें सुथारी भी सिखाई जाती थी। ये सभी काम जो है उनके जीवन में 6 साल से 16 साल के बच्चे मिल करके ये सीख रहे थे, और किताबों से सीखना 2 घंटा। तो 8 घंटे काम से सीखना है और 2 घंटे जो है किताबों से सीखना है। तो ये जो काम से सीखना है, तो गांधी तो तकली का उदाहरण देकर के समझाते हैं कि तकली के आधार पर आप विज्ञान, इतिहास, गणित, अर्थशास्त्र ये सब सिखा सकते हैं। अभी मैं इसमें लंबे में जा नहीं रहा हूं, समय नहीं है, पर आप देख लीजिए कोई भी उद्योग आप ले लीजिए, सारे उद्योगों को पहले उद्योग एक है कौशल्य, मतलब आप उस उद्योग में कैसे अपने हाथ से सीखेंगे तो आपका कौशल्य बढ़ेगा। फिर उस उद्योग के बारे में, वो उद्योग कैसे शुरू हुआ, उस उद्योग का इतिहास आएगा, वो भी उसी शिक्षक को समझाना है। और उसके साथ साथ जब इतिहास आएगा तो उसके साथ भूगोल भी आएगा कि भाई ये उद्योग यहाँ क्यों, अपने यहाँ क्यों ये उद्योग है, सब जगह ये उद्योग है क्या, तो भूगोल आएगा, तो भूभौगोलिक परिस्थितियां आएंगी, जलवायु आएंगी। और उसके बाद जो है अगर आप छोटा सा भी अगर मशीन का उपयोग कर रहे हैं, तकलीय है या जो आपका चरखा है, उसके अंदर से आप फिजिक्स सिखा सकते हैं, उसके आप एग्रीकल्चर सिखा सकते हैं, क्योंकि कपास आएगा। चीजों को जोड़ना है, एक अनुबंध है। इसमें एक खतरा जरूर है कि जो है कब्र से अकबर तक की कहानी भी चली, कि भाई बात तो कब्र से शुरू हुई थी फिर अकबर तक पहुंच गई, वो अलग बात है। पर मूल सिद्धांत ये है कि काम के जरिए विषय को सीखना और करके सीखना। करके सीखने की बात इन्होंने स्वीकार की है, पर करके सीखने को केंद्र में नहीं लाए, करके सीखने को उन्होंने एक विषय बना दिया है। सो सबसे बड़ी मतलब सीमा इस नीति की यह है कि इस नीति के दस्तावेज की, कि इसमें जो है वो आप कह रहे हैं कि ये गांधी का दर्शन है, दृष्टि है, पर गांधी के दर्शन दृष्टि में जिसको केंद्र में रखा गया है वो यहाँ पर महज एक विषय बन है। एक ये बात मैंने कही। दूसरी मैंने कहा कि जितना आपने बड़ा सपना बुना है, उस सपने को साकार करने के लिए आपके पास ये व्यवस्थाएं जो होनी चाहिए, आयोजन जो होना चाहिए, तंत्र जो होना चाहिए, और जो वित्तीय संसाधनों की जरूरत है वो आपके पास कितनी है, इसका कोई ब्यौरा कहाँ से आएगा, इसका कोई ब्यौरेवार लेखा इस नीति के दस्तावेज में नहीं मिलता है। इसीलिए हमने बात तो बहुत ऊंची की है, पर उसको हम धरती पर उतारने के लिए हमारी पास क्षमताएं कम है। शिक्षकों की नंबर पद रिक्तता, और इतने पद हम भरेंगे। मैंने एक अंदाज लगाया कि 5 करोड़ बच्चों की बात हुई, तो मैंने कहा कि इन 5 करोड़ बच्चों के लिए तो अभी 3 करोड़ बच्चे तो एनएसएस के राउंड में, अब इंग्लिश वाले भी समझ में मैं जोड़ रहा हूँ कि 3.22 करोड़, 3 करोड़ 22 लाख बच्चे जो हैं वो 7 से 17 के बीच में गुम थे। अब इनको जो है आप लाएंगे और कुल आपके 5 करोड़ बच्चे और जोड़ेंगे, तो आपको 5 करोड़ के लिए ही तो 17 लाख शिक्षक चाहिए। 3 करोड़ और जोड़ेंगे तो और आपको 10 लाख शिक्षक चाहिए। इतने शिक्षक आपके पास अभी कितने हैं? कितनों को लाएंगे, कितनों को पगार देंगे? और नहीं देंगे तो क्या निजी क्षेत्र को दे देंगे? निजी क्षेत्र को दे देंगे तो हमारे जो लोग रह जाते हैं वो कैसे उसके अंदर जुड़ सकते हैं? ये सारी समस्याएं हैं, और इसमें जो है सबसे बड़ी कमजोरी इस नीति दस्तावेज की ये है कि ये अपने आप को समता मूलक और समावेशी मानता है, पर ये निजी क्षेत्र को बुला करके जो है इसने उसकी संभावना को है वो लगभग खत्म कर दिया है। इसीलिए रानी को रानी की शिक्षा मिलेगी और जो है मेहतरानी को उसके लायक, गरीब को गरीब की शिक्षा मिलेगी और साहूकार को साहूकार की शिक्षा मिलेगी। तो गुणवत्ता जो है वो सारी जो है वो जो साहूकार होगा उसके पास जाएगी और जो कुछ बचा खुचा रहेगा वो इस गरीब को। सो ये है इस नीति का मतलब। पर इस नीति में कुछ नई बातें हैं, अच्छी हैं, तो उनको लेकर के हम अगर आगे बढ़ें और उन पर जोर लगाएं, उनके आसपास जो है हम लोग कुछ आंदोलन चलाएं कि ये तो करिए, आपने कहा है ये करिए, तो वहां से जिसको हम कहते हैं इंक्रीमेंटल रिफॉर्म्स, थोड़े थोड़े सुधार जो बाद में जो है वो शांत क्रांति कर सकते हैं, ऐसी संभावना लोकतंत्र में हमेशा रहती है। धन्यवाद।
हेलो
जी
नहीं प्रोफेसर सुदर्शन अय्यर, आई एम सॉरी, मेरा बीच में थोड़ा वो कुछ गड़बड़ हो गया था। सो फर्स्ट आई वांटेड टू कंफर्म, प्रोफेसर जगमोहन, हमने डिड वी आस्क राममूर्ति फॉर ट्रांसलेशन और दिस इज व्हाट सुदर्शन अय्यर हैज हिमसेल्फ गिवन?
नहीं, मैंने ही दे दिया भाई।
अच्छा ठीक है, नो दैट्स एब्सोल्युटली फाइन, दैट्स एब्सोल्युटली फाइन, ओके।
आई हैव गिवन।
Surjit, you can read in case there are any questions or comments from the Facebook in the meantime.
पहले तो सुरजीत जी के अपने सवाल हैं काफी,
And including your own questions. Many of are there already in the chat box. So
मुझे एक छोटी कमेंट करनी है।
हाँ जी, सुहास जी अब कर लीजिए।
जी, सुदर्शन जी जिंदाबाद।
जिंदाबाद, बोलिए सुहास बहन।
को सुन के जी, मुझे एक दो बातें कहनी थी। एक तो आपने जो जोक बताया उसको जोड़ के कि अभी अपलोड करेंगे संस्कृत में बोली हुई कुछ चीज, लेकिन उसका अर्थ किसी को मालूम नहीं होगा।
बढ़िया।
और दूसरी बात, मुझे ऐसा जो मेरा नर्मदा के ट्राइबल्स का अनुभव है, तो बीजेपी वाले हमारे गांव के लोगों को वो इनके इसमें नहीं पकड़ते। जो मैं आदिवासी हिंदू हूँ बोलेगा उसी को उनका उसमें समावेश होगा, इसलिए उन्होंने सब ट्राइबल्स का जिक्र किया, ऐसा मुझे बिल्कुल शक भी नहीं लगता है। वो तो बस उनके वनवासी कल्याण आश्रम है, उसके लिए उन्होंने ट्राइबल का थोड़ा जिक्र किया होगा।
दरअसल यही सवाल शायद सुरजीत का भी था कि ट्राइबल्स को खाली जिक्र कर देने भर से क्या ये ट्राइबल्स के बारे में इस पॉलिसी को माना जा सकता है?
जी, तो वो पूरी जो देयर इज अ बिग डाइवर्सिटी विद इन द ट्राइबल्स आल्सो एंड दे जस्ट डोंट रिकॉग्नाइज एनीथिंग। So let's not have many hopes about the inclusion of tribals either.
मेरा तो बहुत मर्यादित मुद्दा था कि आपने कम से कम जो है ये इसको उल्लेख कर दिया है
जी, मैं
जातियां हैं। आपने जो है अनुसूचित जाति के बारे में जो इतनी बड़ी समस्या है इस देश की, उसके बारे में आप कुछ मतलब समावेशी की बात करते हुए, समता समाज की बात करते हुए आप उनका जिक्र भी नहीं कर रहे हैं, और उनको आपने बड़ा क्लब कर दिया सोशियो इकोनॉमिकली डिसएडवांटेज। वो नहीं है, वो सिर्फ
रिजर्वेशन का शब्द भी नहीं है पूरे। हाँ। 66
वो तो उन्होंने इसीलिए खत्म किया क्योंकि वो आपने जो है वो कर दिया उसको सोशियो इकोनॉमिकली डिसएडवांटेज। वो तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन है, उसमें वो कुछ कर नहीं पाएंगे। पर ये मतलब सोच जो है उस सोच में ये नहीं है, तो ये मूलतः एक कमजोरी है, ये मैं कहना चाहता हूँ।
जी, लेकिन रिजर्वेशन का जिक्र ही नहीं करना, तो आप जो पॉजिटिव इंटरवेंशन की बात कर रहे हैं उसके लिए भी उन्होंने अवसर कैसा रखा है, कैसे करेंगे उसके बारे में?
नहीं, उसमें देखिए ऐसा है कि ये जो उन्होंने जब कहा है कि यूनिवर्सल रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा, तो उसमें तो ये प्रयास उनको करने पड़ेंगे। मैं यही कह रहा हूं कि हमको तो इसमें लूप होल्स ढूंढने हैं। आपने कहा है कि 100% रजिस्ट्रेशन होना चाहिए, तो हम लोग 100% रजिस्टर करवाएंगे, और उसके बाद जो है हम तो अभी भी झगड़ते हैं कि भाई सभी साथ में बैठ करके खाना खाएंगे। ये नहीं हो रहा है तो ये आपकी शिक्षा नीति में कोई समावेशी बात नहीं हो। ये तो हमको मतलब उसको तो हम टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड करके चलते हैं, ये तो आप करेंगे। मैं तो सिर्फ ये कह रहा था कि आपने जिस तरह जनजाति का जिक्र किया, वैसे आपको ये भी एक जिक्र करना चाहिए।
बिल्कुल,
ये बात सही।
Surjit, can you unmute
Yes.
yourself? Yeah, and speak
I
out.
already
अनम्यूटेड हैं.
Yeah,
unmute.
speak.
I would like just to read out the Gangadharji's question first. The question is, what is the difference between vocation-based education proposed by NITALIM and the vocation education proposed by NEP 2020?
सुरजीत जी, मैंने पूरा मतलब समय उसी पे लगाया. You follow English or Hindi?
I can follow English. And,
No.
but
Actually,
this
this
is the
point.
question is asked by Gangadharji, not my question.
No, Professor Sudarshan Iyengar, actually, this point in a very elaborate manner you dealt with in Hindi, while Dr. Gangadhar does not follow it that well. You know, he's from Hyderabad, so maybe.
No, Mr. I thought I spoke in English also. Mr. Gangadhar would have listened to me that I just said that the fundamental difference is that in Gandhi's scheme, and I therefore also illustrated from Leo Tolstoy Farm's
Yeah.
Gandhi's educating children,
Yes.
that you really the fulcrum of generating or imparting knowledge on variety of subjects has to be woven around a skill, so or set of skills. So when Gandhi was trying in Tolstoy Farm, whatever eight works that he was training children in of the 6 to 16 involved digging, cooking, sandal making, and carpentry, and as I said, it was scavenging, and even message services. Services also he had included, and in the Phoenix he had trained people in press. But then what he was saying was that after that working, then you develop a related knowledge through books for 2 hours, but you spend 8 hours in learning from doing. And while learning, the teacher will also keeps explaining about what is the history of it, what is the geography of it, what is the science of it, what is the economics of it. So you can do this. That is what Gandhi experienced and he was trying to say. Whereas in the policy, vocation comes as one of the options. The danger over there is that people who have, everybody will have to take some vocation. They say that they will have to do a lot of coursework in that during their, school. So they will take some fancy thing and do it like we used to do in SUPW or whatever, SUWP or whatever.
PW.
So we have been doing that. So they will also do like this. But really, the people who will be termed as non-learners or unlearners or bad learners, they will be pushed and they will be said that acha nahi tum to ye le lo, tum ye seekh lo, you learn carpentry, you learn this. So you are going to create a class right from the schooling if you introduce vocation as a separate subject. This is a limited point I am making, and therefore the problem is that Gandhi was talking about a topsy-turvy world. His paradigm was different. This paradigm, the new paradigm which has been introduced, this paradigm treats vocation as a skill because you think that you will need a skill.
Yes, sir.
Just,
Can we come to the next question?
Yeah.
It's a question Ram Murthy. It says that NEP does not mention both cultural and the minorities and the secularism. How do you look at it? How does policy look at Gandhi himself?
Well, I think that there is one little mention on that India in the language section. And in that language section, whatever is mentioned, in that section, there is going to be a problem. And that problem is this. Sanskrit, Pali, and Farsi. Farsi is not our language in that sense. It was our court language, yes, for a long time. But actually, people's language was Urdu. So in Gujarat Vidyapeeth, from school to college, Urdu was a subject which was taught to everybody. So why can't we bring Urdu? That's a missing point. And then, if we are talking about integrating. They have said that this children will be taught about tolerance, integration, respect for everything. All that is there. They have the noises are proper. So it doesn't say that the minority will be dealt with like this and that will be done. That is not clearly mentioned as they have mentioned for the tribes. They have not done it for SCs and minorities, that I accept. And where they could have done this, that we will take every religion sect together in this on this path, is that could have been clearly said when it says inclusive, when it says equity. That is.
Prabhakar can raise your question.
Do you want to raise your own question, Surjit?
I would like to withdraw my question because, in fact, I am guided by a understanding. I wish that I understood it, but I am of the view that the NEP 20 has a certain amount of appreciation from Sundarshan ji. And
Surjit ji, you will have to speak a little loud. I am unable to hear clearly.
Yeah. I prepare myself to withdraw my questions because I feel that in context at this point of time, I simply want to mention that some of the things which I question from you is that you have certain sense of sympathetic impression to the N 2020, which I am of the view that there is nothing except ugliness. I agree, but then I would not like just to go to the details.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sorry, this is Madhu. I'd like to just ask a question. On the language issue, I'm very disappointed by this document because it repeatedly talks of Sanskrit, Hindi, English, and then it talks of regional languages and languages which are restricted to a state. This is simply untrue. All the languages in our schedule, in the 8th schedule, are Indian languages. And they are all spoken not only in one state, but across. There's a multilinguality. For example, Bengali is spoken right the way from Assam to Orissa and understood and so on. Similarly, Tamil and Malayalam will be understood, Kannada will be understood in all the states there. Marathi is spoken in on the border areas, it's understood between Karnataka and Maharashtra as well. Similarly, Gujarati and Marathi, there's not a problem. In Haryana and Punjab and Kashmir, Jammu area, they speak the same language. I think that I believe that India is truly multilingual. And if we try to isolate languages, and like the center, the only reason why they seem to be saying that Hindi and Sanskrit are not limited to any state is because the center wants to take the responsibility for promoting those two languages. But when, for example, they say, why should anyone say that Farsi is not part of our language? I am a Punjabi speaking person, and 60-70% of Punjabi is made up of Farsi words. And similarly, we find that, for example, words like bazaar, we just accept this is so much a part of our language that I think this whole idea that this is not part of us and something which almost nobody speaks now, I think less than 1% of the population speaks Sanskrit, that is being regarded as the basis.
I think, Madhuji, if you are finished.
I'm really unhappy with their language.
Madhuji, if you are finished.
Yeah, I'm finished. Sorry.
No. I think
I have finished.
Yeah, thank you. No, Madhuji, my point. I said that फारसी, ये कोई फारसी से बैर नहीं है, मैंने उर्दू की बात की। उर्दू इस
तो
देश में
दिल्ली की
जंगली
भाषा
भाषा
है,
है, तो आप उर्दू को
दिल्ली में
छोड़ रहे हैं,
बनी, दिल्ली।
तो क्या होगा मेरे हिसाब से, क्या होगा कि आप उर्दू को नहीं रख सकते, संस्कृत
उर्दू
को
को तो आप
आप
कब से
संस्कृत
निकालने की
रखेंगे तो
कोशिश कर रहे
फारसी भी रखिए, उर्दू रखिए।
हैं। हाँ
हाँ, तो वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, तो मैं तो
हाँ,
उर्दू
यू
को
आर
जोड़ना
राइट।
चाह रहा हूँ, मैं निकालने
हाँ
की बात
हाँ,
नहीं
नहीं, मैं आपकी बात समझ
था
गई।
कि उर्दू
मैं
जो
सिर्फ
है, हाँ, पर ये
ना, आई वाज
ये
ओनली ट्राइंग टू
डिजाइन जो
मेक
है, और
दिस
वो
पॉइंट,
देखिए ऐसा है।
सर, आई वाज ट्राइंग टू मेक
यस,
दिस पॉइंट कि हमारे यहाँ ये सब लैंग्वेजेस, they are actually genuinely multilingual. We use easily, आम आदमी uses easily, I mean, Urdu, Hindi, Sanskrit, Farsi, हम आराम से, I mean, I know this is this North Indian area, आराम से we use all these words. We are genuinely
देखिए
multilingual.
इसमें नहीं, वो है, वो मल्टीलिंगुअलिटी की बात जो है इसमें भी है। आप पैराग्राफ 4.11 से लेकर के पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे तो उसका
मैंने देखा,
रिकॉग्निशन है, प्रॉब्लम वो नहीं है। प्रॉब्लम मेरा ये था
Okay.
कि हम बच्चे किस भाषा में पहले सीखेंगे। मेरा
हाँ।
इश्यू सिर्फ जो है प्राइमरी
वो
स्कूल
तो
का
is
है।
very clear.
मैं
हाँ।
स्कूल में उन लोगों ने रिकॉग्नाइज तो किया है कि आप घर की भाषा, मातृभाषा, फिर जो है वो स्थानीय भाषा और क्षेत्रीय भाषा, 4
हाँ।
भाषाओं का ऑप्शन तो आपको दिया है। अब सवाल ये है कि इनमें से शिक्षक कौन मिलेंगे, इनकी किताबें कौन प्रोड्यूस करेगा। पर ये अच्छी चीज है,
Of
मैं तो
course.
हाँ।
जंप करूंगा कि भाई मुझे चाहिए, मैं
अब-
लोगों को ऑर्गेनाइज करूं और कहूं कि मुझे तो जो है तुम लोग मेरी जो है वो भाषा जो है उसमें सिखाओ, मेरी जो स्थानीय भाषा है उसमें सिखाओ,
हाँ, सही
और
बात।
मुझे शिक्षक दो।
Professor Sudarshan, can I interject here?
जी जी,
First, I felt, and therefore I will ask this question also, when you were taking up this point of language, and in fact, even now in your response, I felt as if you are taking it positively that they have recognized it. While actually, if you read this section on language, particularly 4.11, the very, 4.11, where they start, and I want to bring to your notice a proviso which they have added. They have added very smartly a proviso there. Wherever possible. Remember, even the RTE Act said in so far as practicable. And the RTE Act said this in up to 8th standard, while this says up to 5th standard and preferable is 8th. So that's the second, you can say the camouflage. And the third is the RTE Act did not say that, this is to be implemented in the private school as well in the government school. It did not make that distinction. This makes that distinction. So, but in a way, this was already included in the RT Act because it did not make that distinction. The point I want to make, and I want really I really want you to think on this, that whether this policy is in any way really different, because if you look at the RT Act, if you look at even previous policies, they all advocate the primary education in the mother tongue. All policies. But all policies have always given some provisos. So why do we think that this one has really given something new which was not there earlier? This is my first question. I'm sorry, just one more. You would know, I think, more than anybody else here, that in 1938, when the representatives of the Hindustan Talimi Sangh approached Gandhiji, and they said that, why is it that in your scheme of education, you have not provided or made any provision for value education? Now, I mean, his answer was that it's the teacher, the parents, and the students who, through their practical behavior, and by all the things that they do, learn mutually all the values. Now, this policy, for the first time, says from pre-primary education to higher education, framework of value education will be prepared, for pre-primary to school education by the NCERT, and for higher education by the General Council for Education. So my second question is, it's about reflections, that why is it that this is still not getting the attention? I mean, really, I've been listening so much. This is not getting much reflection, the way they are trying to bring in the value education again as a centralized framework to be imposed all across as a separate subject. So that's my second. That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
Wonderful listening you. I mean, I can't say that, but we have to
No,
interject.
no, I mean,
so
no, no, of course, I mean, we have to put points across, and as we understand, you see, the point I'm only making is that it's true that we have been talking about, mother tongue, teaching in mother tongue. This goes beyond mother tongue, because mother tongue actually has been interpreted as the major state language, and in Gujarat, it is Gujarati medium is mother. Whereas I am only trying to say that in this policy, if they are saying that it is Ghar ki bhasha, I mean, I am reading it in Hindi, so you can read in English. Ghar ki bhasha, matru bhasha, sthaniya bhasha. I am reminded of Ramanujam. Ramanujam said that I learned 3 languages very easily. One was kitchen language, our great mathematician. He said, I learned 3 languages very easily. One was kitchen language, one was street language, the other was first floor language.
Exactly.
So people asked, what was that? So kitchen language, he said, is we are Tamilians. So I asked my food in Tamil. So I call kitchen language. So I learned it. And since he lived in Karnataka, he said that the street language was Kannada. So I learned Kannada. And the first floor language was, my father used to live on the first floor and he taught me, that was English. So, I am only trying to appreciate that if this policy is taking into account, and it makes further points. If you go to the section on books, the infrastructure part, they have said that in large number, there will be a National Digital Resource Center, Rashtriya Bhandar. And digital, then they are talking about libraries, they are talking about books. Do it, but where is the wherewithal and capacity? That we have to, and for that we have to fight. I am only trying to get a foothold and start fighting it on one particular point, then you will slowly move on to that. Because then I am going to talk about equitable access. Then I am going to talk about inclusion. See, these are the, if I simply say that, what is the alternative? You give another ideal policy, then we don't have the wherewithals to implement, then we are caught. This is marginally an improvement which recognizes the regional, within a state, there are different types of, languages, and Ganesh Devi would insist that I call that not a dialect, but a language. So we have, and he has done a wonderful work on the survey, the language survey of India after so many, almost 100 years. So I am for what Ganesh Devi is saying. I am only saying that this policy at least recognizes that, and let us start building. That is the point.
But sir, this
Sir,
is
I
there
have
in,
just a,
this is there
sir,
in the new
kind of
education, in
think
the
couple of
previous policy
observations.
also.
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि भाई आ गई, आपने फिर जो
I
कहा है उसको
think
आप
let's move
emphasize
on, let's
करके
move
उसको
on.
इम्प्लीमेंट करवाने की कोशिश करें ना. Why we have not tried in that hour? मेरे पास मेरी नेबरहुड स्कूल के अंदर जो है ये होना चाहिए बस.
Sir, I have just
This is
हमारी
there in
बालवाड़ी जो है वो
RTE
उसी भाषा में
also.
चलती है.
प्लीज निरंजन आ गया है
yeah.
तो आज
Sir, thank you very much for all your insights. Yeah, I have a couple of important observation. Of course, you have started very rightly saying that why a scientist, with all due respect to Dr. Kasturi Rangan, why a scientist has to, kind of lead the process of formulating a policy in education. I think that is a very right questions. But however, sir, like the intention that what you are talking about, in my opinion, having worked in this area for more than 4 decades, intentions are not enough. Because, like whenever we frame a policy, we need to have a kind of a normative framework, which is very, very important. So what is the normative framework when we talk about Indian context? All of us know the Constitution and its values and its direction is the normative framework. That is the kind of the foundation for formulating any policies, not only education policy or any policy for that matter. So therefore, my question, sir, is it enough if we have good intention when we are not really, kind of borrowing anything from the Constitution? Even the constitutional framework is not even referred in a very, kind of precise manner. We are more happy referring again and again about the sustainable development goal, which is not a legal framework, just a kind of a wish list. So therefore, the very idea, the foundation of this policy is completely conceived on a very wrong, kind of understanding, without a kind of a clear, kind of a normative framework. So therefore, there's all intentions, what we are talking about, this is basically appropriation of the people's language. I am sure that, given your, kind of knowledge, I'm sure that, the recent trend from last at least about 2 decades, the recent trend is, particularly this is often, done by the World Bank, IMF, and, OECD countries and all. So if you read their documents, it's almost fixing a kind of a date for revolution. It looks like that. Why it is like that is basically they have started appropriating the people's language. They appropriate people's language, they use people language, and this is deliberately to mislead people. So this is what exactly happening in the new education policy, because since they have appropriated the people's language, what we have been asking for more than, kind of 2 decades, they have appropriated all that knowledge, and this is a strategy. This is a political strategy to mislead people on a particular, kind of a document, because education policy is not just a document, it's a political document, and political document has to be derived from the basic values of the constitutions. So therefore, sir, my question, can we just consider this, the intentions are good, the aspirations are good, they have recognized something. Basically, this language and other things are there in that place because this is a deliberate attempt to mislead the people, to mislead, kind of debates on the entire, process. So therefore, I just want to, kind of understand your viewpoint when you are not even considering the normative framework. How can you prepare a policy? This is my submission, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Niranjan ji. Thank you for go back to, I began by saying that I'm part in section 4, and my general comments I will reserve because many people would have said, and they have made the noises. If you read 4.28, says that we will enable every child to, the whole normative paragraph is 4.28, and you can see that I was talking about adjectives. It doesn't begin, we are wedded to the constitution. That is one. We still go to the fundamental difference in the vision, that since Nishank was talking about equality of vision. Now let me come to that vision. For Gandhi, the education system and education of the society, of the children of the next generation, was towards forming a society that he, a non-violent society, non-violent अहिंसा समाज निर्माण के लिए नई तालीम है. So the darshan is first clear. The vision of the society is very clear, that for building a nation with particular vision, you have to look for an educational system. Whereas all these documents that we have been trying right from the beginning, starting even from the 1949 Commission for Higher Education, I have read Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan sort of being hesitant in accepting Gandhi's principles in his document. Our problem has been that we want to tailor according to the needs that are arising in the society. To build we don't have any vision about our nation. We have given ourselves a constitution. So I am only saying that wherever in this kind of an exercise, where the vision is to move towards 21st century on the cutting edge technology and all those kind of things, if that is where you want to move, you want to sort of put your education according to that. And I am using only that in the process, if you are using something which there was a vision, which matches with the vision of the earlier visionary, and if you can restructure your education and fight for it from the school education onwards, then you are on your way to building a non-violent society, because that is how you can begin, and that is what we should insist for. That no, you have a different policy. If we start this pressure, the policy should alter. See, I am talking about incremental changes by whatever has been granted to us. Let us begin by that and bring in incremental change and keep increasing this incremental. So my position is that fundamentally, this doesn't have, I mean, no education policy till now has been that it has a vision of the society. It doesn't. It is trying tailoring, the education is being tailored according to the changing situations. We don't want to change the situation. That's a big assumption. So let us understand this clearly. I have understood this clearly. That this education is not for society building. It's only for suiting the kind of things that are happening. भाई ये सब होने वाला है, दुनिया बदल रही है, अब इसके हिसाब से हमको एजुकेशन बदल देना चाहिए. अरे तुम अपनी क्या दुनिया बनाना चाहते हो, उसके बारे में कुछ सपना नहीं देखा तुमने? अपना विजन कहाँ है? गांधी के पास तो अपना विजन था, the education framework. Therefore, I said that Nai Talim is both philosophy and content and pedagogy. Let's understand this in a deeper sense. And this policy miserably fails in that, I know. But I'm only saying that in wherever they want to bring in, they want to invoke him, let's catch him, let's catch them and then work on it.
But can I come in?
Yes, Indrani, I think we should conclude this.
Yeah. One second. You said that they don't have any vision. I mean, this policy, according to you, have no vision. But I think they have a clear vision of, like turning India into something of a market and preparing everything for a market and for a corporate world. I mean, that is the vision. With that, they are, I think, trying to giving shape to the policy, and which is, of course, it's the exact contradiction to what Gandhiji had vision for this country, or a constitution had the vision for the country. I think that is where I think that's my comment. Yeah.
Indrani, there is a full of contradiction in that. It would have been better if they were so expressing that. They want to go back to our Sanskriti. They want to make Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya and all that. You see, there are hundreds of contradictions within that. They are not very clear. So it's actually, what is happening. This is a kind of a business plan.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
I'm only saying that if in this business plan, if we can make our business, let's go and do it and ask them, chalo aa jao, is bare mein aa jao. Let us start doing it.
I think Sudarshanji, maybe
let us
we have to
reject
think
it
how.
outright, no?
Can I add a few?
Anyhow, I think the debate and discussions can go on, but thank you.
Let us reject it outright rather than trying to find out positive things in it.
So has been, we will keep rejecting everything. We don't move forward. We will do that. We will keep rejecting everything that comes up. Because let me tell you one thing very clearly. We have, in this sense, at least I realize my failures. People are not with us. A large majority is aspirational. I can't face my tribals in a proper way. मैं उनको ये नहीं कह सकता हूँ कि तुम जो है ये नहीं करोगे, ये लाइफस्टाइल तुम्हारी जो है अनसस्टेनेबल है, मैं नहीं कह सकता हूँ. वो कहेंगे कि अच्छा तुम मुझे सिखाने आए हो, इतने साल तुमने मजा करी, अभी मुझे बताने आए हो कि तुमको क्या करना चाहिए. See, that is the whole, there is a problem, and let's understand that's a reality. And here is a demagogue popular leader. So if he wants to, if he's making even some noises, catch hold of it and start working on it. Keep rejecting it. They are very happy. They will marginalize you in any case. They have marginalized. एंड ज्यादा बोलेंगे तो अभी मैंने तो पिछली एक मीटिंग में कहा कि भाई मैं तो जोर से बोल रहा हूँ, कोई सुन रहा है तो मेरे को राष्ट्रीय विरोधी जाहिर करो, पकड़ के ले जाओ, कोई हरकत नहीं. दैट्स नॉट, आई मीन वी कैन डू इट. आई एम ओनली सेइंग दैट कुछ स्कोप अगर दिख रहा है तो लेट्स वर्क.
Jagmohan ji,
Okay.
can I add?
Fine, I think we shouldn't really be holding everybody up. It's 1.5 hours. It's quite pleasure, and we can continue at any other time also. But and of course, frankly speaking, these are my views, and I stand corrected on so many things like we should. So it's fine. It's a view I have presented.
I think, yeah, no, it's a very important point of view and to understand. And the question which you have really finally brought in is how to go to the people and make them participant in a constructive way, because this whole destructive strategy which is being built is really to be challenged on the ground level. So there are points, and we should come up with that. We are very much thankful to you for bringing many important issues, and also understanding that how misinterpretation of our past efforts of decolonization is being made. And I always say this is a recolonization. Let us understand that also, because the whole movement of freedom movement was decolonization. We continued after 47 to some extent, but it is now recolonization. So these are the challenges which we are really, and we are very thankful to Sudarshan Iyengar for bringing out so lucidly some of those issues for thinking and further debate, and debate should end into an action plan for us also.
Yes.
That's right, positively, because rejecting is easier, but constructing is more challenging for us also. So thank you very much for sparing your time, and
Thank you.
Pleasure.
It's just a colleague who has joined, so you don't have to thank. We are speaking each one by one, so there is just a colleague, so you don't thank. Actually, you should say it's a pleasure.
By the way, you
It's
have Professor Sudarshan Iyengar, you have not joined. I mean, you have been always in many ways with us. I mean, I remember even when we were discussing our program of action, you made some very pertinent observations, on this whole point of burning the policy. I remember you wrote to me and Professor Anil
Yes.
Sadgopal, and I remember when you came to join us even in a meeting in Gandhi Peace Foundation years back.
Yes.
So you are not just on the board of advisors, but you have been one of those members of the board of advisors who have been proactively, seeing what we are doing and giving your advice as and when required. And I mean, the seminar that you organized with Anil Sadgopalji at Vidyapeeth,
Yes.
the DVDs of that we have been distributing. In fact, I have been making use of the links of the YouTube of those lectures, even for my history of education students. So you have been, I mean, you have not joined us. You have been always with us. We always felt like that.
No, I am just saying that we are all in this. So as colleagues, we are talking.
That's
So,
true.
I mean, there is, so the vividata in opinions, let it be there. So let's talk it out. That's, I mean, we all